Hello to everybody. How are you doing today? Thank you very much for attending this session, this live webinar. I'm very happy to see you all here today. Thank you all for being here today. So we are gonna wait just a couple of minutes for everybody to get in. Hello to everybody. Sarah, Lucia, how are you doing? Good to see you. Do you hear me well? So I have this question for you. Do you hear me well? Do you see me well? Everything is fine? So just let me know how is it. Thank you so much. So hope you can see me well. You can hear me. All right. So we are getting more and more people. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to say thank you very much for being here today for this webinar. I'm very excited about this because I heard that many people even have a lot of questions about sensors, about occupancy sensors, about presence detection, about movement and all that stuff. And I'm here today to clarify all that things, and I hope it's going to be useful for all of you, for your projects, for your KNX projects, and so on. Okay, wonderful. So okay, first of all, I want to start with a question to all of you. So how many of you have had a client call? They called you after the installation. I mean, you make the installation, everything looks fine, and they called you. They called you because the lights suddenly turn off right away, with no reason, with nothing is gonna happen. So why they are turned off, right? And the most important thing, while someone was sitting at their desk on a meeting, on a table. So have you ever had this situation before? So if you had this situation before, I hear you. And yeah, that happens. Believe me that happens. That happened to me. And yeah, it's very frustrating, believe me. I've been there too, and it's something that is that call that you don't want to get. Okay, I'm 20 years in the industry. I'm 20 years working with KNX. I'm working with KNX DALI and some other projects in Barcelona, projects in Miami, projects in Latin America, and also Middle East, Asia, and so on. And believe me when I say that I still remember the first time that call came in to me. So what happened was that the client was in a meeting, very important meeting at a hotel actually, and yeah, the lights, boom, went off with no reason, with there is no reason for that to happen. Okay, so that's all. In the middle of the sentence, he was giving a speech and suddenly off. So he had to just stand up, wave his arms like this, you know, how many people have done this before, right? To turn them back on in front of an audience of 12 people in a meeting, doing like this. That call, let me tell you, that call cost me 3 hours. 3 hours. And it cost me the most important thing. It cost me credibility, and that's I would say the most important thing for me, the credibility. Okay, the sensor was not broken at all. I mean, the sensor was working. The sensor was wrong for the application, and that happened. So you need to choose the right sensor for the right application, and nobody taught me how to pick the right one, how to pick the correct sensor, how to pick the right sensor for the right application for this building or for this room, and so on. And that's what today is about. It's not about the specs. It's not about catalog pages at all. It's not about sales. It's not about that. It's about how to pick the right sensor for the right space, for the right area, and the most important thing, for the right application, so you never get that call again. That's what this webinar is about. So here is what we are covering today. All right, so how PIR, passive infrared, and radar sensors actually work, okay? Mechanically, I mean, not just from the theoretical point of view, but from the mechanical point of view, okay? We are gonna take a look at this and the main difference between motion detection and presence detection. This is a hot topic in KNX, in DALI, in home and building automation. I know about that. So we are gonna see the differences today, okay? Motion detection versus presence detection. For specific products on this table with real specs and real use cases. I'm gonna make a live ETS 6.4.1, by the way, demo, and I'm gonna show you the parameters. I'm gonna show you how to configure, and I'm gonna show you everything that make or break every installation. And the weather station that I consider the reference for this market, okay, from my point of view, that I've been using a lot in many countries, and it simply works. It's amazing, it's very professional, and I will show you as well. So everything you see today, by the way, it's available at knxsupply.com. Is in case you wanna see, you wanna take a look, you're gonna see the specs. It's US stock, US pricing, US dollars, and that's the point, okay? All right, so I want to ask you a question now. Many people is connected here. I would like to know where you watching us today from. So where are you based? Where are you located? We have people from Spain, from USA. What else? What else? What else? What else? Any other place? Where are you watching us today? Where you are, where you located. Okay, so, all right. I can see people from Portugal, from Oman. Wow, wonderful. Yeah, I'd like to say thank you very much for everybody to be here today. I'm very excited about this webinar actually. So yeah, this is great. Okay, Barcelona, Spain, beautiful. Belgium, fantastic. Okay, wonderful. So let's continue. Sensor. Here's the thing about sensors: occupancy sensors, presence and movement sensors. So here's the thing: nobody talks about them the way they deserve. Okay, so you go to a KNX training. All of you go to KNX training, certified training. That's absolutely great. You get your certification, you learn ETS, you learn how to make the group addresses, you learn the parameters, and you learn actuators. Fine. You learn how to do the topology, and you are good to go. And then they spend 40 minutes on sensors and call it done. Yeah, I mean, this is the KNX certified training, right? So sensor, on, off, presence, yes, no, and you're good to go. That's actually the KNX certified training. But you need to bear in mind that sensors are the input of your system. So it's very, very, very important to know how they work and how to get the most of them, right? Everything in your system, lighting, HVAC, shading, curtains, everything reacts to what the sensors tell it. Okay, so sensors are the input of your system. If the sensor input is wrong, my friend, the output is gonna be wrong. So this is one of the most important pieces in your product. Okay, so remember this: if the input is wrong, the output is going to be wrong every single time. So I'd like to talk about 3 mistakes I see on almost every travel project I have been asked to fix. So the mistake number one, okay? Motion detector in a presence application. This is the most common mistake, okay? You are using this one, it's a motion detector when you really need presence. So a passive infrared motion detector reacts to movement, not to presence, to movement. That passive infrared PIR motion detector reacts to movement. If the person stops moving, it stops responding, just like that. You put it in a conference room, great. 8 people sit on a 30 minutes presentation, right? Real life, that happened. And lights go off at minute number 12. That's what is going to happen. And that's not a KNX problem. This is the most important thing. Many people think, oh yeah, KNX is not working, blah, blah, the cable, the wire, whatever, the system. No, that's not a KNX problem. That's a sensor selection problem, okay? So bear this in mind. You need to choose the right sensor, presence, or movement according to your application. Okay, let me talk about the mistake number 2, ignoring mounting height. So the installation of this, it's very important, and you need to understand the height, okay, where is gonna be installed. So every sensor is designed for a specific height range. This is super important, okay? Just put a sensor rated for 3 meters or 10 feet at 5 meters or 20 feet, you didn't break it. You just made it useless. Believe me, useless, right? The physics don't lie. So it's about physics. Coverage area shrinks right away. Sensitivity also drops to the bottom. Always check the data sheet before you install a KNX occupancy or presence or movement sensor. Always. This is one of the most important things, right? So let's go to mistake number 3 I see in many installations. Not using the lux or brightness sensor. Most modern sensors have a built-in lux measurement, so they can detect how many candelas, brightness, how many lumens are in the environment where they are installed, okay? That's a real number in lux. But integrators configure the lighting channel to switch regardless of ambient light. From my point of view, unless you really know what you're doing, that's a very, very bad mistake for us as professionals in home and building automation. So on a sunny day with a sunlight flooding the room, the lights turn on anyway. That cannot happen, right? So your client is not impressed. He is simply annoyed. So you need to care about this. You need to care about how to configure the threshold, how to configure the lux or the lumens level to switch on off the application you want, lighting or HVAC and so on. The lux threshold in ETS is there for exactly this reason. So please use it, okay? We are gonna cover this into ETS when we move into the ETS software. I will show you how to fix this. So you need to fix those 3 things and you eliminate 80% of sensors related callbacks. 80%. What about the other 20%? So that's what the rest of this session is for. So how sensors work? How sensors actually physically work, right? This is a Creator radar sensor, okay? As you can see, I will show you. You can see it can supply as well, radar sensor. So, and we have PIR sensors. So two completely different approaches to detection, completely different. Understanding this is the foundation of everything else. If the foundation of everything else. So PIR, passive infrared. Passive infrared. The word passive is the key here. Passive infrared. A PIR sensor does not emit anything. A passive infrared does not emit anything, any signal, any nothing. It has no signal. It just listens, right? This is very important and one of the main important difference between passive and active sensors. Just listen. So what it listens for, right? That'd be the question. Changes in infrared radiation across its detection zones, right? So the changes. So your body radiates heat, infrared energy, continuously, right? When you move across these sections, when you move, the heat signature crosses from one detection zone to the next one. So that change is detected from the passive infrared inside the lens. Okay, that's the way it works. That crossing, that transition from one area to another area, is what triggers the output. Okay, it's what triggers the output. No movement. You have in a place with when you don't move, you don't do anything, there is no crossing, there is no zone crossing. So therefore, there is no trigger. Okay? Bear this in mind. No movement, no zone crossing, so no trigger. This is the fundamental limitation of PIR, passive infrared, which are 80 or 90% of the occupancy sensors we find in the market. It needs your body to move across its detection zones, okay, to register you. Sit still at your desk, type, barely move your head, and the PIR says, room empty, there is no one, no detection, so where does PIR work well? Corridors, hallways, places where constant movement is happening, easy detection. Movement, okay? Movement sensor. Bathrooms, small space, movement always present, right? You move around and so on. Utility rooms, storage areas, stairwells, all those places. Anywhere where people are always moving while they are present, that's the way, okay? Let's move into the next big how can I say, the big portion of occupancy sensors that we have in the market. In this case, radar, okay? Radar sensors. We have radar sensors like, for instance, let me show you some of them. We have radar sensors like these ones, okay? Radar sensors. High bay, fall get up sensors. These are radar, not infrared anymore. These are radar sensors, okay? So the radar is active. It emits signal. So the sensor sends out a continuous signal, okay? This is the case of these ones. That signal bounces off objects and returns and comebacks. The sensor analyzes the return constantly, all the time, many times per second, per millisecond, okay? Here's what makes this different from PIR. Radar can detect micro movements. That's the main difference with PIR. Your chest rising and falling like you breathe, like this. When you write, when you type, that's detectable with a radar sensor, okay? A person sitting completely still at a desk and working, radar finds it. That's the difference between radar and infrared. That's the difference between motion detection and presence detection. Passive infrared detects motion, movement. Radar detects presence. That's the difference, okay? So now, radar is not perfect, okay? It's not 100% accurate. It's not 100% perfect. So there are things you need to know, okay, when you go for a radar sensor. Radar can be affected by HVAC airflow, by air conditioner airflow, okay? That's important to know. A fan near the sensor can generate false triggers. That's possible. Sensitivity must be tuned into ETS. That's what we call fine tuning, and we can do that in ETS. So too high also, too high, false positive. Too low, it can miss people, right? So you need to consider this when working with radar sensors. So this is why the parameters in ETS matter. They are very, very important. We'll come back to that in a few minutes. All right, so I have a question for you at this moment. Are you using radar sensors or passive infrared sensors? I want to hear from you. Have you ever used radar sensors, by the way? Did you know about them? They are amazing, by the way. Have you ever heard about them? Radar sensors, microwave. It's amazing. And they fit perfectly. Take a look at this. So you can actually install in this mat ring like this, and you can plaster here. You can paint this. So it's almost invisible. It's flat. It's amazing. It's amazing. I love it. Okay? I love it. All right. So presence, movement sensors. I see mainly PIR and sometimes microwave. Yes, correct. Yeah, that's true. But really, not many people know about radar sensors. And another thing that happened in this KNX world industry is that many people call motion sensor, they call them presence sensor. And that's not true. That's not true. Actually, a passive infrared cannot be 100% a presence sensor. We usually call them presence sensor just because they are very accurate. So they are very tiny areas that if you move between these tiny areas, you can trigger a movement. But if you stay still, they will not detect you. Okay? Yes, they are very precise, more than movement sensors. Correct, fine. But they are not real occupancy. They are not real, occupancy or presence sensor. Bear this in mind. Okay? Okay. Good. So let's continue. Let's talk about motion versus presence. Okay? So motion, I have some sensors here as well. Okay. Motions versus, So I want to give you a simple test that you can apply to every space you are designing for, okay? With KNX or DALI. This applies to both technologies, actually. So the question is not, will somebody be in this room? That's not the question. The question is, will that someone ever stop moving? That's the question you need to ask yourself when planning occupancy or movement sensors. If the answer is yes, they will stop moving at some point while still present, then you need presence detection. Technologies like radar, okay? If the answer is no, they are always moving when they are there, right? Moving around and so on. Motion detection is simply fine. It works, okay? You can go to a PIR sensor, which is a little bit cheaper, by the way. So let me walk through real spaces, okay? What happens in corridors, for instance? People walk through, always moving. They are not still. They are not supposed to still. So PIR is simply fine, okay? Conference rooms, meeting rooms. What about that? People sit, present for an hour, not moving much, okay? Just stay still. You need presence detection. That's very important. You don't want to get a call back at 2 a.m. in the morning or 10 p.m. saying that this system is not working, not even the occupancy. They say the system, the KNX, is not working. You don't want that. Hotel room, guest sleeping, zero movement, only presence. What about this? Only presence detection catches that. So you go for radar. Private office, for instance, a person working at a desk, light typing, barely moving. What about that? Yes, we need presence detection. No movement sensor, presence detection, okay? Open plan, office, open spaces, mix of walking and sitting areas, like an office is. I recommend radar. That's what we use in our projects. I recommend radar. Actually, as I said before, the price difference is not that big, but I recommend radar, right? One single rule. Write it down if you need it to. If people stop moving in that space, use radar. If they don't, passive infrared, it's just fine. Okay? That covers 90% of your selection decisions based on is this gonna people stay still or in movement, right? That's very important. All right, so there is a special occupancy or movement sensor that I like it a lot. It's the one from NDT. You can see in the website. This is a new, actually it's a new product from NDT, and I want to be precise about what it is because it's too easy to confuse with other devices in the lineup. So this is a wall device, the one from NDT that I'm talking about. It's a micro presence detector. It's not ceiling, it's specially to be installed. It can be installed in the ceiling as well and also in the wall. It installs recessed in a hollow wall, okay, or ceiling. Compact sensor head, almost invisible. It's very nice, I love it. All right, and it's available in white and black. Sometimes you need black color, okay? I'm gonna show you black color later. So what it detects, PIR based motion detection. It's a passive infrared and it's very reliable for corridors, for walking areas, and so on. It's very reliable from MDT, a German manufacturer, and it's proven technology, right? So it detects vertical detection angle 35 degrees and detection range up to 5 meters or 10 feet. No more, it's 15 feet. It also includes 2 additional sensors and integrated brightness sensor as well for lux dependent lighting control and yeah, an integrated temperature sensor as well. So it's simply beautiful. Many of the KNX occupancy or movement sensors we can see in the market, they have temperature or humidity sensor included. Not all of them, many. So the sensor, the temperature sensor, which can feed your room temperature controller, and it includes also KNX Data Secure. I recommend to look for KNX Data Secure devices, end-to-end data security on the bus, right? Many of them, they are integrating KNX Secure, so go for it. So when do you use this? So the use case is very specific. You need motion sensor, for instance, if you want to trigger control, wall mounted or ceiling mounted, minimal footprint, this is for you. Corridors with precise geometry, this is for you. Side rooms in a hotel, utility spaces, this is the right product, okay? Beautiful. And the PIR level detection is simply enough. It's sufficient. It's a tiny device. I love it. So PIR level for movement is great and beautiful. So what is not? It's not a presence detector. So don't get confused with this. Presence is not a movement sensor, okay? It will not detect a still person, but maybe you don't want that, okay? That's not what it's designed for. It's not for detecting people sitting on a table. It's not for that. The geometry of 35 degrees in this case, it's beautiful. It simply works for most spaces and it's very different from 36 degrees from above. So pick this when you need wall mounted. I recommend for wall mounted as well. Motion only with clean aesthetics. Okay, don't pick it for conference room. It will not work. It's made in Germany and all MDT products have 3 years warranty. We also have it available at knxsupply.com. Okay. All right, so let me talk about this one, the Creator Mini KNX, for instance. So the outer diameter, 43 millimeters. I'm gonna talk in millimeters in this case. Okay, it's very tiny, as you can see. The depth is 35 millimeters, very tiny. Boost input only KNX, right? Same connector, only this one for power and data. This is very important. They are physically interchangeable in the ceiling. You can change between this or this, and even the technology is different, so you can exchange them even in the future. Okay, so this brand is Creator. They built an entire detection ecosystem. It's amazing. They have a lot of products. And what it's the most important thing is that they make the sensor almost invisible. Okay, you can use this. It's beautiful. It's simply beautiful. So 35 millimeters ceiling cutout, which is almost nothing, and almost the same as a standard resist downlight hole. So it integrates perfectly into the ceiling, into very projects where interior design is very important. You install it, snap it, flash, and it simply disappears. Architects and interior designers actually love this. The clients love this as well, right? And you love this because there is no design argument to have. It's simply beautiful and plain, okay? All right, so this, for instance, this is one of them. Let me show you another one. This is a passive infrared, okay? You can see the Fresnel spherical lens here, passive infrared technology. This is one of the most used in the market. It's very affordable, good price, and multi-zone, dense overlapping, detection zones. It's simply amazing. 36 degrees detection angle, 6 meters diameter at 3 meters mounting height, okay? 6 meters, so it's quite good. So 10 feet, 20 feet. Use this where motion is simply enough. So passive infrared, if you just need motion, this is for you. Corridors, service rooms, storage, bathrooms, simply amazing. It's cost efficient, reliable, and very clean as well. It can be flash mounted into the mat ring I showed you before. Wonderful. What about another one? Let me show you another one. I have a mini 24 gigahertz. This is radar. Oh my gosh, this is radar. As you can see, the shape it's also the same. It also has this KNX interface, same 35 millimeter cutout, different wall inside, completely different technology. This is 24 gigahertz millimeter wave radar. So FMCW, frequency modulated continuous wave, as I was saying before. It's same radar modulation used in automotive collision avoidance system, okay? So this is very precise. This is amazing product, by the way. This is the 24G radar presence sensor. Amazing. It's applied here to presence detection in a disc smaller than your palm. Well, my hand is big, right? But you can see this is very, yeah, it's very tiny actually. The sensor transmits a continuous signal, okay? It's radar, as the frequency shifts up and down. So it measures the shift between transmitted and received signals, okay? Good. So from that shift, it calculates distance, velocity, and micro movement. It can detect breathing. It's amazing. That's not marketing. I mean, that's physics. A person sitting completely still, okay, on a table, on a desk, it detects the chest movement like this. From breathing, it's simply enough to generate a detection. This sensor keeps the lights on as long as there is someone in the room. So you want this for private offices, meeting rooms, hotel rooms, high-end residential. This radar sensor is for you. Anywhere someone sits still and expects the system to know they are there, it simply works, okay? So remember, 8 meter diameter at 3 meter height. Lux sensor included, by the way, so it can detect, most of them can detect the amount of lumens of luxes, and you can adjust the sensitivity, okay? All right, so let's pick another one. This one, high ceiling radar. So this is radar, and this is high ceiling installation. So sometimes we need to install this at 20 meters, 15 meters. Everything is the same family, by the way, but the application is totally different. Standard sensors are designed for 2 to 4 meter ceilings. Bear this in mind, okay? 10 feet. At 5 or 6 meters, the coverage shrinks right away. At 8 meters, most standard sensors are not even reliable. 8 meters, okay? 20 feet, 25 feet. So this sensor is built specifically for high spaces. Especially for high spaces, okay? The antenna is different, the design is different, and it has higher output. It maintains sensitivity up to 12 meters, okay, or 35 feet of mounting height. 15 meter diameter coverage at 8 meter height. That's a lot, okay? 15 meters coverage. So that's a 15 meter circle from one device. That's a lot. I mean, this is also important because you don't need to spend a lot of money in a lot of these devices. Hotel lobbies or double height offices, this is perfect. Also for warehouses with mezzanines or atriums. It's amazing. Only one sensor, no extra power supply, one ETS address, a large space covered. Okay, beautiful. Let me show you this one, TOF ranging occupancy sensor. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This one is I call this specialist. Okay, time of flight, laser based measurement. Laser based. This sensor fires an infrared laser pulse and measures exactly how long it takes to return. Okay, so speed of light is constant. Time difference gives you an exact distance. This is physics. Okay, so the result is a very narrow and very precise coverage zone. So it's very narrow. It's like right here. Okay, the detection angle, it's just 11 degrees. We were talking about 35 degrees, or sorry, 35 degrees wider angle. In this case, the coverage zone 0.4 meters diameter at 3 meters high. It's amazing. That's smaller than a chair seat, actually. Okay, one sensor over one desk. So this is good option for only one desk to detect if someone is sitting there, and it really knows. Okay, so I want to know if someone is sitting in this cable, in that cable. That's why we use this. Okay, so this is the use cases. Some of the use cases for this is, for instance, hot desking environments, libraries, reception, counters, and so on, or combined with a wide area radar to confirm a specific workstation occupancy, so I can detect if there is someone at this workstation, yes or no. Okay, that's a good application for this. Okay, so as I was telling you, we have many sensors here, 4 sensors, 1 bus connection. This is very important, all KNX. Okay, all KNX. All right, so how are we doing so far? Do you have any other question for me? Is there something would you like to know so far? Any question about what I've been talking about? Okay, let me see some of your questions. Yeah, wow, I can see people from Saudi Arabia, from Colombia, from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Okay, Esilux is the top sensor brand. Esilux, it's amazing. Made in Germany. I love it. I love it. Croatia. Okay. Okay, so you've been using, people from Kuwait as well. Suggest some radar sensors makes, most KNX makes have PIR option. That's true. So I recommend to take a look at Creatrol. Okay, Creatrol sensor, Creatrol systems. It's an amazing company made in China. They are made in China. They are amazing, and the quality is quite good. I've tested them, the radar ones, and you see, I mean, it's the footprint is nothing. That's what I like the most, actually. Okay, so this is their footprint. It's nothing. It's flat. It's flat on the ceiling. Beautiful, and I really like it. So take a look at this Creatrol for radar. PIR, okay. Some other question: if this is true that a radar detector signal can pass through a drywall? Yes, it's true. Actually, that's true. And actually, I've seen microwave. Well, depends on the frequency, okay. But I've seen microwave presence sensors that are intended to be installed on the drywall, so in the wall or in the ceiling. Okay, yes, that's true. Which make is this compact sensor? This is Creatrol. I think I'm pronouncing it well. Okay, you can find it at knxsupply.com. All right, we have people from Dominican Republic as well. Hello to everybody. Okay, good. So I'm going to continue with one of my favorite ones. This is amazing. Let me show you this. This is MDT combi sensor we have in black and white. Different philosophy, different form factor, different value proposition, totally different. So MDT built a device that goes beyond detection. Why? Because this is presence sensing and environmental monitoring as well. Only one device has it all. One KNX cable always. Remember, this is very important for me actually. One ceiling unit, one device, one ceiling hole, not plenty of them, one ETS entry, and 5 data streams. Here's what here's what it's inside. Presence detection. 3 passive infrared sensors working together. 3 of them. Motion detection range up to 11 meters diameter, like 33 feet. Presence detection range small movements up to 5 meters diameter. Again, this is not a presence detector. It's not a presence detector sensor. It's a movement, but it detects very tiny movements, okay? So that's where it catches someone working quietly at a desk. Again, it's not a presence, it's for movement, but it's very accurate, okay? And the most important thing, room climate sensors like CO2, continuous air quality monitoring, VOC, temperature as well that can fit to the room controller also, and air quality and humidity as well, okay? It has humidity sensor inside. These objects go to 3 completely different systems, okay? So presence go to, for instance, for the lighting actuator, if you want to switch on and off the lights. Temperature goes to the HVAC room controller, and CO2 goes to the ventilation controller, okay? Let me give you a commercial example or scenario where you can use it, okay? So you are designing, for instance, an open plan office, 200 square meters, okay, or 500 or 2,000 square feet. Without this device, you need ceiling presence detector for lighting. You need a separate temperature sensor for the HVAC, usually on the wall and usually very ugly as well, by the way. You need a separate CO2 sensor for ventilation, okay? A separate CO2 from another manufacturer, and a separate humidity sensor for air quality. So that's 4 devices actually, okay? In this case, we only have one. And the most important thing is that we only use one ETS entry. We don't use 4 ETS products. We don't use 4 ceiling holes and no 4 cables, only one. So with the MDT combi, black in this case, we also have in white, you place one device connected to the bus and it fits all 4 systems, okay? This is not a shortcut. This is intelligent system design. Bear this in mind. Okay. So this is white matte. I love it. It's very beautiful actually. White matte. It's made in Germany, MDT, and 3 years warranty. It's available at knxsupply.com as well. It's low voltage device available in the US and worldwide. Beautiful. Okay, so now let's move quickly into ETS, because I want to show you something about these sensors. Okay. By the way, if you have any question, you can ask in the chat and I will be more than happy to solve it. Okay. Wonderful. So this is ETS. This is ETS, and this is, I'm gonna go quickly into this. Okay. This is ETS. This is the application program for the creatorial devices. So one application program, actually one database for all of them. You just need to choose the right application. Okay. So you add the device here. Let me close this. You add the device here and you can just go to general and you can use the application, and you can select the application according to the occupancy sensor you are using. Okay. And yes, we have at Creatrol, we have an occupancy sensor that detects when someone falls down, when someone gets up or when someone is at any specific room. So this is beautiful, especially for elder people, for some cases where you want to detect if someone is sleeping or get up or falling. This is the device. Okay, it's especially for this application. It's beautiful and it works. I checked. Okay, it works. All right, so as I always say in all my KNX trainings, the parameters are amazing. I'm gonna set them all to the default parameters. Yes, okay, so I recommend you to highlight this or to click on this box, so every change you make, you can see in white. So that's useful for you to know what you are doing. You can change here the install height. Creature it's amazing. I mean, the application program, you can actually enable several presence detection, like several applications. So I want to detect presence to control, for instance, the lights, and I want to control also, for instance, the HVAC. I can change this in the switch on and off the HVAC. Totally different from the lighting system, which is in presence 2. Totally different from presence 3, which is just to know occupancy yes no. Brightness independent for presence 3 and non-brightness or brightness dependent for presence 1. I can change individually for the application I want. Okay, this is amazing. Okay, and I can also send scene number. So if there is detection, I want you to send some scene, whatever, and so on. Okay, all right. So I also have extended parameters, and this is something that I like from Creature, that I have logic functions that I can use here, and I have events as well that I can trigger. So if this event happens, I want you to do this. Okay, on top of the regular applications. It's amazing. So you can see here fall down, easy control. I want to monitor the fall down. If someone falls down, I want you to send me a bit, a byte. I want you to send some number, whatever you want. Okay, cyclical sending, I can do all that stuff. So if I go to the logic functions, I can have inputs, I can have outputs, and I can have and or format converting, very nice as well. Also, not just for occupancy sensors application, but also for another applications as well. If you go to the group objects, you can see the input and the outputs, and you can use this not just for occupancy, this occupancy sensor or presence detection, but also for any applications you have in your project, into your KNX project. Okay, this is very useful. Okay, so as you can see, we have a lot of parameters. Gold rule. I always say this in my trainings. Gold rule. What you don't know, don't touch, don't change, don't play with. Very important, okay? So if you don't know what is this, extended parameter about you enable, don't change. Don't do that. So why I say this? Because it has a lot of parameters that you don't want to mess up. So be careful. Okay, if we go to this combi sensor from NDT, you can see that I can read all these parameters. I have all these inputs. I have the humidity sensor. I have brightness, also calibration. I have many things. I know when is, I can tell the brightness. I can tell the occupancy sensor when is day and when is night as well. I have input that is coming from another detection, so I can daisy chain all of them to cover a specific big area. Okay, that's also very useful. Slave function. Follow-up time, I can change from outside, from any BMS or something. And switch dark, I mean, I have a lot of lock motion detection, like I don't want you to work now, I want you to stop working, also useful as well. Okay, so as you can see, we have a lot of parameters here to change in ETS. Actually, this is what I like most from ETS. This is ETS. I always say the same, it's very complicated. Yes, it is complicated. I know, it's not drag and drop, it's not easy, but once you know it, you can do, oh my God, you can do everything you want for your home and building automation project, okay? And that's what I like the most actually from KNX and from ETS. All right, so do you have any questions so far? Do you have something that would like to know, some curiosity, something? Tell me. I'm here to solve any question. Okay, so meanwhile, if you want, you can ask any question that you have into the chat. Okay, and I'm going to, let me give you the summary of what we've been covering here today. So fast, because I know you have things to do. So let's go straight to the point. PIR, passive infrared, detects movement. If they stop moving, it stops seeing them, okay? No presence. Radar detects presence. That's totally different. Breathing, again, just moving the head, it's enough for them to detect you. Still persons, lights stay on. They work great, radar. Motion detection is for spaces where people are always moving, okay? Motion for moving. Presence detection is for everywhere else, okay? MDT micro, we saw the MDT micro. I talk about the MDT micro detector sensor. Wall mount, ceiling mount, motion only, 35 degrees, 5 meters. Creator PIR, passive infrared, ceiling, 36-meter circle diameter. Beautiful. Creator 24G radar, okay, that's reference, 24G, for ceiling, true presence, and 8 meters circle detection diameter. Creator high ceiling as well, up to 12 meters, okay, 35 feet, 15 meters detection, all right. Creator TOF, 11 degrees, 1 seat laser precision to detect if this guy is sitting on the table or not, okay. MDT combi, the top of the top, many, not just occupancy, not just presence, but also movement, but also air quality, humidity, temperature, and so on, and of course lumens as well, right? So everything, it's available at knxsupply.com. You can take a look at that. If you have any question, you can also ask my team. They are very happy to help you with that. And if you want to get the structured KNX training, if you want to get professional in KNX, I recommend you to take a look at Synex Academy. This is where we are offering all the KNX certified trainings around the world, not just in North America, where I'm located, but also in Spain and Latin America. All right. And if you want to connect to KNX professionals worldwide, I recommend you to go to the KNX Pro Network. Okay, so the knxpronetwork.com, join that, register now, okay, and you will get access very soon because we are now in pre-opening, okay, pre-registration. If you want to reach me directly, you know how to find me, you know where to find me on LinkedIn, okay, and I'm here to help you with any project you have with the KNX, with DALI in the US, yeah, where we have a lot of constraints and also a lot of things to care of, like local regulations, UL, ETL, and so on. I'm happy to help you. We have a full solution of KNX and DALI products in the US market. Okay, so if you'd like to know something about this market, just let me know. You can reach me on LinkedIn, very easy. Okay, so do you have any question? It's time now to ask in the chat. Let me have a look. Okay, all right, so I think that's all for today. If you don't have any question, yeah, I just wanted to show you the difference between presence and occupancy and movement, because many people get confused about that, and I think it's very, very, very important. Okay, so I didn't talk about something that I would like just to cover now at the end, and it's the weather station. Okay, weather station are always let's say you forgot to include them into your projects, and you don't think or you don't consider they are necessary. I recommend to install a weather station. We have many in the market. One of my favorite ones is Elsner. Is one of the main manufacturers of weather station. I love them. They have a huge range of weather stations, pro versions or compact versions, no mechanical wind detection, no mechanical parts. They are simply amazing. Okay, take a look at them, elsner.com, and we have them available at knxsupply.com as well. Okay, so take a look at them. I recommend you install a KNX weather station in every project because it's gonna give you a lot of information for your building, and you may want to use it. Okay, including outdoor light brightness. All right, so that's all for today for this webinar. Thank you so much for being here with me, and see you on LinkedIn, see you on social media, see you on YouTube. And if you like the content I'm doing, follow me please, because this is gonna be amazing, and I'm gonna post more videos and so on about KNX and about DALI in the next days. Okay, so thank you very much, and see you soon.